I seem to be living a life of extreme contrasts these days. When I'm in Utah, this time of year, it's summer. It's hot, it's dry. You'll go for days at a time with not a cloud in the sky, just the sun up there beating down, baking your brains out. And then I jump in the car, I drive all day, I come up here to the Pacific Northwest, and it's in the 50s and low 60s and cloudy. Today's a good example. We haven't seen the sun all day today. It's up there trying to go down right now, but broken cloud cover across the whole sky. I'm sitting here with a t-shirt and a flannel shirt on, and it'll be a little bit on the chilly side tonight when all is said and done. So quite the life of contrasts that I'm living. It is always exciting for me to come up here. I just love being up here around all the boats. There's the little cruise ship from the American Cruise Lines. I think we've got the American Spirit out here, just pulled up. And a little bit ago, yesterday I believe, there's a boat that's in the marina here right over behind me, the Blue Peter. It was built in 1926, and it was going out. It looked to me like maybe just the owners were going out with the captain for a few days. I watched them one day on the AIS when they went out, and they went way up in the San Juans. But I just love watching that thing go out of here. It's a classic old, very narrow schooner type boat. Barely makes a ripple in the water when it's going by. It's just this beautiful thing. So yeah, it's just a kick, being up here and just being here. But as always, stuff to do. Some of it's on schedule, some of the schedule's getting turned a little topsy-turvy. So hang on one second, I'll explain. Okay, so in preparation for being able to take the boat out and spend days and or weeks at a time, essentially off-grid, or as close to off-grid as I can get, I've been really figuring out what of the boat systems are ready to go and what are not. And what I have discovered is the house bank of flooded acid cell or flooded lead acid batteries, the old batteries, car batteries basically, are not really holding the charge very good. So those batteries age over time and they don't really fully charge, they don't discharge very well, they start to kind of lose their life, and the charger's running all the time. So I have put a down payment down with S3 Maritime up here, I think is the name of the company, and they are getting prepared to redo the whole house bank with lithium batteries, new charger, new inverter, and new alternators on the engines, because they have to have different alternators to match up with the whole lithium charging system. I'm on schedule right now to take the boat over there for on the like a week from Monday, to have it tied up at their slip up on the other side of the Chittenden Lock, I think is the name of it up here. There's some other stuff going on in my life right now that just has me absolutely at capacity. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to call those guys and just say, look, I'm not going to be ready. I'm going to push that install back just a little bit. I'll explain in a few weeks. I'll be able to tell you what all is going on and really sort everything out. But for right now, I just feel like I've got too much going on to be able to have myself tied up, because I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if I've got to drop the boat off there and either stay there or leave it there for 3 or 4 days and then be right there to get it back, because it won't be at the slip here. It will be at their docks, and I'll be paying them moorage while it's there and yada yada. So anyway, I think I'm going to reschedule that. However, what I am going to work on this week for sure is, in fact, I'm going to run out tomorrow and get me packing material. So after taking the boat out a few times, what I found was the bilge pump started kicking on down the bilge, pumping a bunch of water out. And as I started investigating what was going on there, because I had not been doing that before, the shaft seal, particularly the starboard one, is leaking. So while we're sitting here, it's leaking a little. It's not a ton of water jetting in, but it's a leak that you can take a paper towel and wipe off the fiberglass, dry it off, and then sit there and over 2 or 3 minutes, a little layer of water will start to kind of, so it's like a little stream of water gently streaming in. And I've been doing some research, and what you do is you take off this ring in there and you replace the packing material. So, and from what I've seen, you can do that with the boat in the water. It's gonna pull the old packing material out. It's gonna leak more while the material's out, and then we're gonna put new packing material in, tighten everything back up. That's gonna seal it up. That's a normal part of maintenance on the prop shafts. I don't have any packing material. I've looked all over the boat. I've found extras of almost everything, but no packing material. So I'm gonna go get some of that tomorrow, and I'm gonna do that job. And that will give me peace of mind, because I discovered the leak and I watched it for a couple of days, and I made sure that the bilge pump was kicking on and off properly and everything was okay. And again, it wasn't like a flooding leak, but it's enough to make you nervous when you're 800 miles away. So just for the peace of mind, and because it's a normal thing, I'm going to repack the shaft packing, see if I can't get those sealed up. I also, when I came back on the boat this time, partly from the bilge being wet, there's just kind of a stank down there. And I think I have one hose on the forward holding tank for the Blackwater holding tank that has that at some point kind of kinked, like they maybe tried to bend it a little too much, and it has kind of started to collapse and kink a little bit, and it's cracked right at the top. So I think I'm getting a little bit of holding tank smell out of that front holding tank. So I'm going to go pack that shaft, get that leak to stop. I'm going to dry out the bilge as best I can and kind of make sure it's all dry. I'm going to get down in there with some vinegar water and kind of clean off all the stuff that I can get to, and see if I can't just tone down that little stanky bilge smell a little bit. And then I intend to do a little bit more of that gel coat work. I've got some areas up by the forward hatch over the front berth up there in the very forward part of the boat that had a couple of kind of holes in the gel coat, and I was getting a drip into the hatch was dripping. So, we had a little leak there. So I've taped those over. That appears to have stopped the leak. So I know that's the spot the water was coming in. So I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna kind of dig around a little bit and get some of the wood that got wet out of there. And then I'm gonna fill that all up with gel coat, cover that up. And while I'm at it, there's a couple little cracks around the front. So I'm gonna do a little gel coat work on the front. If I can get like a weather window when I think I can get it down and get it covered with that wax paper and give it time to cure, so I can at least have it sealed up. It might not be all sanded down and finished, but get that done. And then I do want to get back on that rear step on the back and get that to the point where I can have it, call it finished enough to put my piece of teak down there. I also picked up a scrap of rope at the West Marine the other day when I was in there. All my ropes that are holding my fenders are all getting old and sketchy, and so I'm going to rehang all my fenders with new rope and have them all the same thing and all the same rope so that they don't pop off. Sometimes you look at that rope, you're like, I'm not sure that's going to hold, and I don't want to lose one of those fenders and have the boat kind of banging up against the dock. And so yeah, that's my plan at this point. So not going to get really any of it done tonight. Tonight I'm kind of just soaking up the sunset and the scenery and hanging out. But first thing tomorrow, that's the plan, is I'm going to run into West Marine, pick up some supplies, and come back and tear into it. So I'll bring you along with me when we get started on the work, and hopefully this will be a productive week. Guys, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm back here in the boat doing a few jobs today. Didn't go play. I kept my nose to the grindstone a little bit, and here's what we're doing. I have put some gel coat on those little holes up by that forward hatch over the front V-berth, and I've also done a little cleanup around the house, which is boring. But I went to West Marine yesterday, and I got packing material to repack these propeller shafts. So this is just kind of squarish rope stuff infused with PTFE, So I don't know what that is, but it's stuff that it needs to go on a propeller. And this is some propeller stuff, lubrication stuff. I wasn't sure what size I needed for sure, so I got a couple of packages of 7/16 and a couple of packages of 1/2 inch. And I'm hoping it's one or the other of those, and I'll take back what I don't use. But I'm going to have a look under here and see if I can get this job going. So what I've done is I'm back here in the aft cabin. I've pulled the carpet up. I've kind of tucked it up on the bed under the mattress so it will stay up out of the way. And I'll show you here just in a second. I've got 2 places where the padding is cut out, and underneath that padding is the access hatches to get to the propeller shafts. So I'll show you that, and we'll have a look at this job and see if we can do this without sinking the boat. All right, well, here we are. Again, the carpet is right here, just kind of peeled up out of the way, and the padding has been trimmed here. Flip that up out of the way. Here's our access panel. And when I open this up, there indeed is the back end of our propeller shaft. So what's going to have to happen here is basically these nuts are going to come all the way off. This ring will slide forward. That will let us have access to this opening right here. And in that opening is where the packing goes. Now, it does appear that we still got plenty of water in there now. At some point, once I get these repacked, I'll dig that out of there, or I'll siphon it out. And I'm probably going to go grab the shop vac and give this thing hell with the shop vac for a minute before I start. Just clean up all the junk out of here. But yeah, that's our job. Well, this job was a total bust. So let me just give you a little perspective. If we look straight down into that hole, you can see that no part of that packing area is really accessible. However, I'm on the port side. You saw me mess around on the starboard side. It's clamped in there much tighter. It will not move. This one, same thing. I couldn't tighten it up, couldn't really get it to come out. So it's time to turn this job over to the pros, I think. and I don't know how they'll get it done, but I'm sure they've dealt with this kind of stuff all the time. Maybe I should be working on this from way up there on the other end of this thing, but look how far away everything is up there. You can see how much roof there is over the hole here, so I don't know, maybe I'll see if I doubt it, but maybe the floor comes out right here in the hallway, but I don't think it does. Anyway, yeah, no dice on that job. So I still don't know what size packing material I need, but I've just tightened everything back up. Gonna have to turn this one over to the pros, I think. All right, me and the dog have walked down towards Porcupine Point on this Headlands little park that we come to. So Deception Pass is right behind you over there, and out in front of us is the pass from Deception Pass out towards San Juan Island, and down here's the dog trying to graze on some grass. But I just thought I'd give you a look out there. We never really go right down to the water from here because it gets pretty steep looking from here, and it's a fair amount uphill back from here. So we're gonna turn around and head back, and then we're gonna cross over Deception Pass, and probably will not stop at the park there, although we have our pass, so we could. But yeah, we're gonna head back up. We're just getting our exercise for the day. It's a Sunday, and all work and no play makes Dawn and Lilu dull people. So we're gonna head back and finish up this adventure up at the top. Come back, dog. Hey Siri, what's the temperature in Midvale, Utah right now?
It's about 99 degrees in Midvale, Utah.
Siri, what's...
It's 60 degrees right now near Deception Pass State Park.
There we go. So it's 60 degrees near Deception Pass State Park, and it's 99 degrees in Midvale, which is where the house is. All right, I'm probably going to wrap this video up and get it in the can here, but I just wanted to mention I'm here longer than I thought I would be for a couple reasons. First of all, it's like 30 degrees cooler up here than it is back in Utah. So since there was no compelling, urgent need for me to get back there this week, I didn't go back there this week. Second of all, though, the power company has been telling us all week that they have a scheduled long power outage at the marina here from 6:30 p.m. today till 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. So 12 hours supposed to be without power. Now, it is currently 7:20 p.m. and I'm just looking down here at the gauge showing me the input power from the shore power, and it's still 110 volts. So I don't know what happened, but we still got power, and we're not supposed to have power right now. But not too worried about it. If necessary, I'll fire the generator up and run it for a bit. But I think the fridge will be okay. I think this is going to be not a big deal because it's coming up on evening, and most of the time my eyes will be closed while the power's out, if it indeed goes out. But I kind of felt like it was probably a good idea to just be here during this incident so that I could just make sure everything comes back properly. I got a lot of gear on this thing. Just want to make sure everything turns on right and everything's fine. So I'm holding to see what happens with that. But for now, I'm going to wrap this up, and I will see you next time around when I'm hopefully getting back on some stuff. I got everything. I got thwarted on everything I tried to do. Camera system still dead in the water. The toilet and the master head back there is giving me problems. I had to order in a new valve for that. The anchor chain washdown thing, you saw me struggling with that. That's not a go yet. It's just been like that with everything I've been working on. So project wise, I'm less than enthused about how things are going, but I think I'm starting to turn a corner on freeing up some of my time to have more time to work on this kind of stuff. So for now, I will bid you adieu. Next time I see you, though, hopefully some of these things will be able to start getting some of these projects wrapped.